Yo. What it do? It's RB22. And, I got my co host here with me. Got Harry, Sunshine, and Sam. Finally, we got Sam and Sunshine and Harry all in the same room. Oh, man. The season's getting close whenever that happens.
Hey,
So,
yep, right around the corner.
how you guys doing, man? Sunshine, I want to start with you because it's been so long since the fans got to talk to you. So, how are you?
Hey, we're grinding over here in the off season, man. Putting in some work. Just moved out to Fort Worth and building fences, cleaning up the yard. So now I'm excited to get back to it with Texas Ring of Fire. The season's around the corner, so we're all excited, man.
Lasted
For
43
sure.
seconds.
Yeah, right. Hey, Texas Ring of Fire. Um, before we get too far, I do want to give a shout out to North End Podcast. They had us on the uh that best ball draft last was it month or
Last
Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Last Wednesday.
Was it? Yeah,
So
I think it
or
was
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
It was Tuesday. Tuesday. So last Tuesday, but that was a lot of fun with those guys. We did it with Moon Tower and We Are Austin. We had a lot of guys bantering on there. So shout out to them for putting that on. But we, of course, it's not a Texas Ring of Fire episode if we don't have no technical difficulties. So that's just how it goes for us. So Harry, how are you doing, bro?
Doing well. Had a good Super Bowl. Didn't really care which team won, but it was an entertaining game. So, which is all you can ask for. My biggest complaint about the halftime show. I'm one that likes multiple acts. For that here, have a guest appearance just to kind of enhance it. Music was good, but to me, I love when you have that combination of multiple acts working together, like last year for that here. But no, it's going good. Ready for um, soccer season to start since football's over for that here. Saw
Yeah.
reports that Sacramento, San Diego, and Vegas are eyeing for next season. That Garber wants to try to force a team
Who's that
very
again?
soon. Yeah, for the expansion.
Who? What?
So
What teams?
Sacramento.
Sacramento again,
Nah.
San Diego, and Vegas.
Okay, so San Diego is probably front runner for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think they want to go Vegas personally, but
Okay.
they gotta have
The
the
Heat.
owner.
The Heat,
Yeah.
though.
It's Vegas, man.
Where are they gonna practice?
Dude, as an away fan, even in USL, the Lights are probably one of the most traveled to, just because it's Vegas. Because I can go to my wife and say, "Hey, San Antonio's playing in Vegas. You want to go?" Yeah.
Yeah,
She
I
likes San
got you.
Diego too. I could probably do that with San
But then
Diego,
again, I mean, you don't go to Vegas to watch soccer. So
but that's why you can take the wife, say, "Hey, let's go." You can't tell me that
I'm gonna argue it with you, Harry. Either way. So.
Well, that's just because you're 0-1 against San Antonio when it counts.
Ooh, all right. We'll get into some footy.
That's the end
We're
of that
gonna
conversation.
go ahead and talk some transfers in and out of the clubs going in and out. I heard my echo, so I was like, "What was that?"
No,
But
that was me turning on the TV so we get a view.
for sure. So we also got some preseason matches that have been happening at each of one of our clubs. Go ahead and break down with some Austin, man. Austin, we did bring in Amro Tarek. It has been a while. We talked to 29. Last time we were, I guess we went live. That was whenever the snowstorm or the ice storm had hit, and I lost power out here. So sorry about that, guys. But I do have some, Amro Tarek. We did get him on a 1-year option. He is an option for 2024. He's a 30-year-old center back. No international slot is going to be taken up for him. He has 2 appearances for the Egyptian senior national team. He was in 2016 with the Columbus Crew, and in 2018 he was with Orlando City. And 2019 through 2021 he was with the New York Red Bulls, backing up 45 appearances with the New York Red Bulls. He does have 2 MLS goals, and I did see that he also had some time at Real Betis. Not sure how long, but if Real Betis is interested, that got to show some kind of skill that's there. I have seen him out at preseason, and the kid is, he's not a kid. He's our age, right, Sunshine? But he's big, bro. He's really big. He kind of looks like Gabrielson.
Okay.
Ruben Gabrielson. So I think, in a personal opinion, he might be a little bit like more meat on him, a little bit bigger. Gabrielson
Hey,
looked a little bit more athletic. What's that?
I was gonna say Gabrielson, he was pretty big already, so if he's bigger than him, then
Yeah, he looks bigger. Gabrielson looks maybe like a little bit more like athletic, like he would
okay.
function more. But this guy just looks real solid, like he's real big. He's a real big guy. And him and Leo Weissman back there, that pairing is something that I would love to see this coming season. Leo Weissman, he just looks comfortable back there already. He's comfortable with the ball playing out with Stuvers. He's actually playing last man already, so to see that confidence, Cascante is pushing up. I think from what I have seen and heard and understand, Cascante actually likes the offensive a little bit more. So to see him be able to go up and do stuff like that is going to be great for Cascante, because maybe it'll free up a different version of him, which is what we need from Cascante. But back to Amro Tarek, I have a lot of expectations for him. I think he could end up become a starter. Maybe, of course, he'll be getting some playing time because we got Open Cup, we got Leagues Cup, and we got CCL. We do have an update on the CCL match, but I'll get into that later. He's 6'4", so he's big. Not sure if you guys, obviously, Sunshine, I don't think you've seen anything on this guy, but Harry, have you heard anything about this guy? And if you have, what do you think about him?
I haven't heard a lot, no, on him, unfortunately.
But I mean, from what you're describing, that's a solid big guy back there to help Cascante, because Cascante he's not that big,
Yeah,
So
and,
he needs some
and
help
to
corner.
yeah, but his thing is just jumping around from club to club to club. That kind of just why is he jumping and stuff like that. So it's something to watch out for. Especially we only got him for 1 year, and he 1 year option. So just keep an eye on that. We also had Musa Jite. Musa Jite left the club on loan. So he went to AC Ajaccio in French League. And the deal includes a transfer option. Now, Sam, he did note that with the transfer option, that it has to happen whenever you loan a player out in the MLS. So you have to put that in the deal. So pretty much when you loan a player out at any time, you got to be ready to sell that player if you loan him out, per se.
Foreign, abroad.
Oh, it's only abroad?
Only abroad, because the goal
Okay.
is to try to do that. But if you loan from MLS to USL, that language isn't in there. But if you're selling over to Europe or
Okay.
wherever, that's where they're putting that language in.
Okay, we'll see. Hey, you teach me something. So, Musa Jite, he has that transfer option, and I think he may stay there, man. For some reason, I have the feeling that he had a lot of things happen here. He had a son, I believe, while he was here. He had a brother, I think, that passed away, and then or maybe a grandpa or something. But, a lot of things have
It
happened.
was the day he had with the hat trick, right? I think it was, or
Well, he dedicated
the
that.
striker had something on him.
Yeah, right. But I think he's a little homesick right now, and being here just kind of not getting playing time, stuff like that. He maybe just wanted to go back home, and maybe he did go back home, and he was like talking to his agent. It was like, "Hey, man, like I kind of just want to stay." So they found him alone, and maybe his agent's like, "I'll do this until I can try to fight and work something else out," and maybe Jita has played his last game in Austin, which
got to be careful on that, because the difference on this loan is it's supposedly through the end of the Ligue
season
1 season, which is
till
end of
June.
May-ish, May,
Right.
June timeframe. So now they do have the option to buy, but you figure that's 90 days, 3 months, 3.5 months for that here. So to me, it'll be interesting to see, number one, can he break into the team and perform well enough for them to be able to say, hey, we want to keep you. And of course, it also depends on what the parameters of the sell is. But
yeah, listening to Moon Tower, apparently he has already played with the team, has already featured in like 2 or 3 games. So they got plans for him for the moment. And let's see if, like you say, if he could break into the starting lineup and just get it, a consistent playing time, which would be nice to see him get that. That also brings up the question about his internet or his U22 spot. Do we fill it? Do we bring someone in? And I know there was a buzz about Sebastian Pinot, that young Peruvian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20-year-old guy. So I mean, he's a U20. He would take up a U22 slot. There was a breaking. I believe somebody broke news that it was done deal, right?
That's what I thought I heard, but he hasn't been announced yet.
But he hasn't been announced. Yeah, and so it's confusing. But with Jita departing, that was a real speculation. But we did end up picking up Will Bruin. Now, Will Bruin is a 33-year-old forward. He was a free agent out of the Seattle Sounders. We got him for 1 year at the option for 2024. He's the 8th active highest goal scorer in MLS. He has 77 goals. He spent time with Houston, racking up 56 goals, 21 assists, and with Seattle, 30 goals and 15 assists. 2019 MLS Cup, 2022 CONCACAF Champions League, which was last year. He has 2 appearances for the U.S. men's national team, and he was a member of the 2013 Gold Cup winning team. He's 6'2", so Will Bruin bringing, I guess, his own style, his own kind of version to Austin FC. But I've heard a lot of negative things going around him too.
Really?
Yeah, I have. With his injury and not being able to catch form and not being able to get it back going.
But he's a depth signing. If he's getting significant minutes, that's not a good thing for Austin FC. But with what I think there's 40 some matches you guys are scheduled to play.
Mm-hmm.
But like Open Cup, probably CCL maybe, especially early rounds, might be a good thing. Or Leagues Cup, I think that's the one with Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's more of a depth veteran signing where he comes on 70th minute, and it's somebody that you can trust. If he's starting games, then I think you can have that. But I think from my understanding, he's good in the locker room as far as leadership along those lines, and that's why your comment kind of caught me surprised. Is I guess what's the expectations of him? Because I thought he's pretty much just a roster fill. Somebody's going to be on the bench 75-80% of the time.
Right. And you do make a good point, which Landon from Moon Tower, we're standing right next to each other this weekend. We were chatting a little bit. And he kind of, bit back the same way you are on Will Bruin and said, 400 minutes this season is all we need from him.
Yeah.
So that's reasonable. And last year, his market value was $500K, like $530K. But, again, Landon said that he wouldn't be that high.
Yeah, if he's signing a 1-year deal at his age, it's and Sunshine can probably talk to this. It's not a big money deal. Most likely, it's not a big. It's probably for the veteran minimum. Is what I have a feeling it probably is, and it's just an easy way to get one more check because obviously Seattle didn't re-sign him, and to me, it all comes down to expectations. If he gets a goal or two for you guys, as long as when he comes in and he doesn't screw up and he doesn't do something stupid that costs you a game, to me he's just that veteran that you want to have on the bench. He's what, the third striker, right behind Max and
I think he would be third striker. I
Third
guess
striker?
Right, because we'd have Zardes, Maxi, and then Bruin. Unless Bruin. I mean, I don't know. They're all over 30 though. All over 30 strikers.
I think it's just a like for like trade. Like Jita leaves. Jita's a 6'3" body. bringing him in 6'2", just in
Hold
case
up play.
Hold up play. It's kind of just a like for like kind of. I mean, they're not going to change the game style of play. Austin FC, I think they're going to come out similar to what they did last year. So,
not every signing is a home run. I hate to say that. So some are just for depth. That's all. To me, that's all Bruin is for depth and for depth and just leadership. That's because he's a veteran. He's what been in the league how many years?
He's been in the league
10
about
plus, right?
12 years now. Yeah,
it's just that leadership that you need, and plus he comes from a winning background. Up there with Seattle, he brings in that mentality, that experience, from the Sounders, which is not a bad thing to have, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I kind of wish we did have the Houston perspective here, because he was in Houston for a while, 6 years. So I wonder how they feel about him out there in Houston. So
that's why Sam left, is he got mad.
So that kind of brings us into this Driussi rumor that we saw announced today, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. It's a new deal through 2026, which is going to make Driussi one of the highest paid MLS players. That gives me some confidence that Driussi is here to stay for a couple years, man. A couple, at least. At least give me 2 years of Driussi, 2 more years, and at that point, I think that the foundation would be set, and we could just have that winning DNA, kind of how Seattle is. You know what I mean? Always winning and winning ways. Obviously, last season wasn't a winning MLS season, but for CCL, I mean, you got to applaud them on it. So, with all that being said, and knowing a little bit about Austin FC's transfers in the offseason, how do you think the Austin looks right now going into the 2023 season? And I'll start with you, Harry.
I think they're a playoff team. I don't know if they're second in the West, because they went from, because I picked them dead last year, preseason. In all of MLS. So I think they surprised people. Yeah, it's on video. I just didn't. The difference from year 1 to year 2, you didn't have a lot of roster change.
I was calling the MLS Cup last season. Remember,
I
Sunshine?
didn't. Well,
they're like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, this season I'm, not so much, but last season I was like, oh, it's MLS.
But typically, when you have that big jump, you come back that following year. We've seen it with FC Dallas. We've seen it with Houston. We've seen it with the Colorado Rapids, where they'll have a great year, and then teams kind of learn, make that adjustment. There's been some change, but I do think the playoffs aren't set yet as far as the MLS rights. We don't know if it's 7, 8, or if everybody's in and they're doing a best of 3 for everybody. Who knows what MLS is doing with the playoffs? But to me, I think they're a solid 4 through 6 probably seed at this point. To me, I was listening to Moon Tower. It would be interesting to see if Austin brings in somebody big, in the summer window, to kind of help push them up. But I got them mid pack here for that. I got them second, and I think I have Dallas rated a little bit higher than them right now. But
man, I want whatever you're
close.
smoking.
They're close. I don't know. To me, I don't know if there's much difference between Dallas and Austin. Just like last year, there really wasn't a whole lot of difference.
Yeah. I think just based off the players that are coming in, it's almost a like for like for everybody that leaves coming in and just replacing it. Up top, I still think Driussi is going to need some help. Like, who's going to be your starting striker?
Zardes more than likely, if he could stay healthy. I mean, he picked up a knock already in preseason.
So I'm just like, man, I hear Zardes and I feel like that's another Houston right there. Like, high expectation coming in, and
I don't know comparison to Houston.
Well, in the sense that Houston, they had high hopes for him, right? And
but I mean, Zardes is kind of proven more than Houston was.
Yeah, I mean that's
you
true.
know you kind of know what you're gonna get out of Zardes. With Houston, he was just at San Jose, and
yeah, that's true.
But here's the question for you. I don't think Austin's got worse, but do you think Austin's got better?
I believe so. I think our depth has got a lot better, and our center back are a lot better. Or not like a lot better, but like if Gabrielson, man, imagine if Gabrielson was still here, like it would just.
But he's not.
He's not. So, but still, the fact that he's not, I still feel like our center back depth is better than what it was last season. Still, at this point, so that's a lot more comforting. And to think that Cascante could lose his starting position, and we could actually have Leo Weissman and a Amro Tarek pairing, or maybe even a Kip Keller and Leo Weissman pairing, that's something to really look forward to. Because Cascante, everyone knows how I feel about Cascante.
I don't think Austin's got worse. I just worry about other teams that have got better in the West. That's my concern.
I mean, like who though?
Oh.
Like Dallas.
So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's go Dallas.
We'll
save Dallas. That for next week because I need to do a little bit more.
Yeah, so let's go Dallas. Sunshine, we'll do your transfers real quick, and then we'll get into the preseasons. So go ahead. We'll do some FC Dallas. What's up? What you got for us?
With FC Dallas, we're bringing in another young talent right back. I think that was a good deal. So we let Nanu go back to where he came from. Didn't really do much this season. He would come in as a substitute for Tomasi.
I guess I should close the door. Huh?
We just like he didn't meet expectations, right? So instead, now we brought this young player, Giovanni Jesus, from Brazil. Oh,
snacking Harry. Go ahead.
I guess he didn't mute his part, but so we brought Giovanni Jesus for $1.5 million, which is a lot of money for a right back, especially a player like that. But
yeah, okay.
But he was proving himself over in Brazil, so I think that's a good buy. Again, with Nanu leaving, we need some depth there, and so that's going to be a healthy competition in the right back position. There's a possibility Tomasi might lose his starting position there. So that was a good one. The other one, Matt Hedges, let him go. 34 years old. He's been with FC.
Yeah, he went to Toronto, right?
Yeah, he left. Yep. Yeah. So we let him go, and we brought in Sebastian Ibiaga from LAFC.
So that's not a bad pickup.
So it's not bad. And I think I don't know that he's going to be starting. I think he's coming in there for some depth, but he can basically, fight for that position right there with Tafari, which he's a young player, young center back. This is going to be his third or fourth year in the league. And basically he got drafted in the MLS draft, and each year he's gotten consistently better. So that's going to be a good one to see whether or not Sebastian Ibiaga can win that position there.
He actually started out in Houston. Houston cut him. He picked up by San Antonio FC was 2018 or 2019 USL Defender of the Year.
Yep.
And then went to New York City for 2 or 3 years, and then went to LAFC for 2 years last year. Started for the MLS final. So
yeah,
he's solid. He's not great, but he's one of those that probably second, third center back there, especially if he's a third center back. He's a solid core piece on there. If he's your number one center back, then, hey, I'd have probably, concerns, but being the second or that second, third center back, he's solid in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be. I mean, he was brought in there for some depth, and we all know as the season goes on in the MLS, it's a long season. So we saw it last year with Matt Hedges just not have enough stamina throughout the last part of the year, or last part of the season. He'd get beat on some plays, and so bringing in some depth on the defense could be key to us. The other one that we brought in, which he was on the North Texas team for MLS Next Pro, is Jose Mulato. Basically, another striker, young player. I believe he's 19 or 20 years old, but he scored a lot of goals for us last year at the Next Pro level. So that's going to be exciting to see him come in. Basically, we let Hara go, so that was a good deal.
Yeah, opening that DP spot, man. I mean,
yeah.
that's you can't. I mean, shit. That.
Yeah, we were talking about it for the last season or 2 seasons even. We're like, man, what's Hara doing? What's Hara doing? Like, he's taking up a lot of that revenue there. But I think having Hara there the last 2 seasons, maybe he was just trying to help in with Velasco coming in, making that transition, and now this season they finally let him go. So I think it was great timing. That played out pretty good.
Yeah, it was about time, man. That dude was overdue out. You guys picked up a forward recently, right? Or no? No,
I don't think so. No, not yet. Jose Mulato, we picked him up, but he was on the next pro.
I think I was listening to. I can't remember who I was listening to, but they're pretty much saying because is your DP slot still open?
Yeah, it's still open right now.
So picking up I know Ferreira is your 9 right now, right?
Oh yeah, but we need somebody else there that.
Well, I think him as a 10 would be a lot better for you guys.
But then we would have to switch out our formation.
Yeah, but I mean,
right now we're playing that 4-3, and so basically by doing that, we'd probably have to switch over to like a 4-4-2, or where you have that center attacking mid and then a holding mid.
Yeah.
And then you'd probably have to play with 2 strikers instead. So yeah, it changes it up, but that's why he plays like a 10 for us. That's that false 9.
Well, he just always drops so much.
Well, that's what that false 9 does.
Of course, but I mean, it's so natural for him.
Yeah,
it's just. So.
Yeah, before playing that position, that's what he would have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, those are the biggest transfers. The others, of course, that's just going to be basically what we got in the draft, the 3 players in the draft, and then we picked up some other players along the way that we're playing in the next pro level. So those are going to be probably the more exciting ones to watch. The other ones that are probably going to be in our second 11, so on our bench, is Nolan Norris. Again, he played for the Next Pro defender, young player, under 20. We had Antonio Carrera, the goalkeeper. He's finally coming on, as well as FC Dallas player. So, as the goalkeeper there. We got Dante Sealy, another young player. Tariq Scott. Those are all academy players that are now going to be on the roster for FC Dallas.
They got contracts with you guys or what?
Yeah, they got contracts. So,
hey, FC Dallas is going to FC Dallas, huh?
I mean, knows because they also let go off of a lot of players too. They probably let go of like 5 or 6 young players that were on the FC Dallas roster. And they were probably there for a year or 2, but they never really got minutes. And so this season, they finally let them go. And now, the young players that were playing in the academy or even in the next level, the next pro, that they're signing them up for FC Dallas. So,
well, damn.
Well, that's basically it with the larger transfers over here in FC Dallas. So, if I were to say how are they doing now, based off of last year with the moves. I think there's not a lot of change that happened with the players, but that buzzword going around, and Third Degrees put it out there on their podcast too, and we've seen it on the social media, is the mentality change. I think last year that's what got us in some of the games that we were tied 1-1 and we couldn't find a way to pull through. So the mentality has to change and it has to improve.
Yeah. So,
players.
how do you see? I guess we can get into some some MLS preseason matches. Your FC Dallas. You guys have had 3 of them already, right?
That's correct.
And how have those results? Do you know the lineups for those games or anything?
Not really. They haven't put out a lot, but from what I saw in highlights, I mean, some of our starters are still playing. I saw one of the goals scored by what's his name? Not Alan Velasco.
I did see Ariola scored in one of the games.
Yeah, that one with Ariola. With Ariola, it was a pass from Velasco. It was a nice through ball, and Ariola scored. So that's good to see. But in the preseason, you know how it goes. It's just a lot about rotation, and you already know what Alan Velasco and Ariola is going to bring. It's more of, hey, who's going to come out this season to step up and.
Well, but it's also getting your players, ready to go too. You got to get those guys, going. So I think at this point you're putting out strong lineups with less than 2 weeks for the MLS season.
Yeah, so really, I think the biggest difference between last season and this season is going to be how can we, we went into the playoffs. Some of the young players that hadn't experienced that before now have had the chance to go through that. They've seen how long the season is, and so they're just gonna have to find a way to make those results happen. If it's a close game, that's what's going to separate the champions between just a playoff team.
Right. No doubt. I guess what y'all got any more preseason games coming up, or what's the plan for FC Dallas from here on to
this weekend? We got Houston Dynamo for the last game. It's going to be a friendly. It's going to be at 7:30 Shell Energy Stadium. So looking forward to that one. And then home opener, that's going to be against Minnesota, the 25th. So right around the corner.
Are you going to any of those games?
Probably not the season opener because last year was rough, but definitely going to check out that LA Galaxy versus Dallas, March 4th. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So no season opener for you?
Probably not.
No, más triste.
No.
Yeah, man. So, I guess we can get into some Austin preseason. We had our visit to Florida, but we did come back to Texas. We played El Paso, and we also played Louisville City FC. El Paso, we beat them 5-0.
5-1, I thought.
No, 5-0, El Paso. But we beat them. I mean, our starting lineup for that game was Stuver, Zan, Komanich, Leo, and Julio Cascante for the center backs, Nick Lima on the right. We had Owen Wolf, Ring, and Sebastian Driussi in the middle. And then we had Fagu, Will Bruin, and Rigoni starting that one. So I did hear that Pereira did have a knock last game. But he did start this recent game that we did have against Louisville City. I just want to get into that starting lineup real quick. We did have Brad Stuver, Komanich, Vicenen, Cascante, Lima. So same back five right there. We had Pereira in for, Ring this game, and Owen Wolf and Sebastian Driussi in the midfield. We had Fagundes, Rigoni, and Jesse Zardes on for that one. So that one right there seems like a more stronger lineup than the week before. But like I said, Danny Pereira did have a knock. We did beat Louisville City 4-1. Those guys, they did just play San Antonio FC. Well, they didn't just play them, but they played San Antonio FC in the USL final and got handled in San Antonio.
Yeah.
You got to talk about the banger though from Wonder Kid Joshua Winder
Yeah,
for
from
Louisville City
Louisville.
on their goal. You can tell why he's a lead. It was a turnover by. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we were in Verde Hill. That's the only way that we're able to watch these matches at Verde Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that don't know, Verde Hill is basically a hill that is there with the way that it's structured, I guess, all around, and you're able to stand on it just enough to see over the fence, but you can't really see. It's like so far. It's probably about 100 yards away from the actual playing field. So if you don't have binoculars, you can't see it. So that's where we've been going for the past, I guess, 3 years. And somebody found a different spot. They didn't find it. I guess they just kind of got a little braver, a little smarter, and moved over to a different spot. Well, that one is actually behind one of the goals, and it's closer. It's probably about 40 yards away from the field. So that one's easier to see. If you have binoculars, you can see that one really, really good. But that angle there was phenomenal, and I was able to see that goal. And we were behind him when he shot that. So, yeah, we saw that goal, and he hit Stu with the upper 90, and literally nothing Brad Stuver could do about that one. I mean, full stretch, oh, you got it? Okay. Yeah, so there to the left, that's where we were. But, yeah, first, boom.
Oh.
Yeah, but look at Stuver. Like, there's nothing you can do about that, Stuver. But
yeah, he was off his line. That made it a little bit harder, but yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so good shot by him. Like I said, man, those lineups that we have coming out, they look good. Leo and Julio Cascante, center back pairing. Emerald Tarek is already getting playing time. Like I said, he looks good. He looks big. I would like to see him become a starter. One thing to note also, Owen Wolf getting starts in both games. I think that he's going to be kind of in the plans. He may not just be a role player. He may be a starter this season. And
for who?
For who?
Yeah.
Over Ring.
Over Ring, dang.
I mean, I'm not here to just do hot takes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a pretty hot take right there.
Oh yeah, deep. I mean, Ring's
that's a DP.
Yeah.
It's a DP, so
shouldn't be a DP.
He shouldn't be a DP. He shouldn't be a DP. He should have, man. Yeah, that's another discussion for. We can go down that rabbit hole, but I don't even want to do that. So, so the competitions that we have coming up, we did end up getting confirmation that Violet FC, they were having problems with visas being able to come over here, but they were able to get 16 players to get approved for visas, and I think they're trying to get some other players contracted, I guess, from the States. So the game seems like it's going to happen. The game's going to go down in the Dominican Republic, their match instead of Haiti, and our match will happen here. First leg is away. Second leg is here at home. Those matches would be March 7th and March 14th. So I expect heavy rotation. And like I said, maybe Ring does start for the most part, but expect Wolf to be influential also in these cup games, like Champions League possibly, or even Open Cup games. And then maybe every other 3 games in the MLS season. We'll see how Ring does. Ring shouldn't be a DP in my book, and if this season he doesn't perform to DP level, I think that it's maybe time for him to go if he's not going to want to be bought down. So we'll give Ring, as Bali from We Are Austin would say, we give him 5 games. Nah, but yeah. So that our preseason matches, they've been fun to go to. I've been taking little Russell, little RB with me, and he's been loving it. We got some big things. I do want to announce the kind of small Austin tier underneath Text Ring of Fire that we started with Alex. It's called Verde Bros. So go check that out. On Twitter right now, we haven't dropped our first episode yet because we're still nicking out some issues with Text Ring of Fire. You gotta have
Your
those
microphone.
technical difficulties. Yeah, exactly. So we're actually trying to get a studio for that. We're gonna do it live since Harry's in San Antonio and Sunshine's in Dallas. There's no way we'd be able to do it live together, right? But me and Alex, we could actually get together. So we got big things coming. We got plans with Little RB. We got Inside Stadium stuff that we want to bring to you guys, and we do plan on doing that with Dallas maybe eventually, and with Houston eventually, and with the USL. So all those things are coming.
I do have one question for you guys.
Go ahead.
And I'll give credit to Third Degree for this here. Do you like the path that Austin is doing? USL clubs, maybe an MLS club along those lines for preseason. Or do you like to be able to go abroad, whether it's Mexico like Houston did, or I think you went to Spain over in Europe there for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Which path do you think sets the season up for success? Do you think going abroad and playing clubs that may or may not be at the same level, but they're in season, compared to like playing USL teams? The biggest complaint is we're 2 weeks behind you guys. It's that simple. We don't start till mid-March. San Antonio FC, what's just been in camp, a week, 2 weeks now. When we had the cold snap, for that, here's when they started camp. Which do you think is a better path, or which would you like to see your team do? Because I don't know if there's a right or wrong path, because I think it varies per team. But as an individual, would you want to see your team go abroad or stay local?
You go ahead and take that one first, Sunshine.
I mean, it depends, right? I think that there's pros and cons to both ways. In my eyes, when you go over to Spain, like FC Dallas players, that's a little bit of vacation time still. I feel like, I don't know how rigorous they're training the guys, but it's still the off season. I feel like it's a little bit of vacation, a little bit of work, and then going over there, it's not like it's a 3-hour flight. It's a 10-hour flight going there and then a 10-hour flight coming back. So it's not easy on the body either. So you're taking some. I mean, you don't have to get tired like that. And then the other thing is you're playing against opponents that, like you said, they're in season, but they're not the opponents that they played. They're not. It's not a top quality player. It's not like you're playing players from La Liga or even like a second division BPL. So pros and cons to both. To answer your question, I still think maybe going out over there is the better call rather than playing like a USL team, because a little bit is, I do think it's like a reward for the players to go out there and travel, and it's still a little bit of vacation time, and you're putting in the work. So,
yeah, I mean, I could, like you said, I could see it both ways. Also, I do like how we played Philadelphia Union and Cincinnati first. Other MLS teams. The USL squads, I guess, maybe to build confidence or something, or maybe to get your team going. But yeah, whenever you play, higher caliber teams, it's going to make you think it's going to make you better, building confidence one way or the other, and just getting chemistry, just getting touches on the ball. Maybe you could see the travel time that it could take to get all the way up to, Spain or whatever, or, all that, take all that into account. So it's just, I mean, I don't have a preference.
yeah, I mean,
right?
at the end of the day, it's preseason. You can do that here, you can do that over there. They're still going to accomplish the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
To me, the underrated factor is the money aspect. You mentioned the time.
Yeah.
The travel, which yeah, I do think being able to go and visit other
Hey,
sites and
that's $1,000 a ticket for those players, right? So yeah, that's a
so
big.
the money aspect of
Yeah.
it to me is a and it's kind of to me I think it's I think I'm kind of two-faced because I'm like for the longest time I've been like, hey, why don't the Hunts invest in FC Dallas? And then when they are investing like this, rewarding the team, hey, with the trip abroad and I'm assuming that the bonding experience, be able to learn the different cultures, different styles, and all that stuff. And then I come back and like, is it really the smart idea? For the money aspect, is it money well spent?
It's a little bit more realistic here too with the USL. That's the players you're going to go up against. With MLS players, kind of players you're going to go up against. So, learning that kind of style.
What I think, and I don't understand why the Texas teams haven't put this together yet. And mainly, I'm talking Austin and San Antonio, and even if you want to include RGV. There's the Tucson Cup there in Arizona, where you have 6 to 8 MLS teams. There's MLS goes to Florida, Orlando, I think over there, a bunch of teams. But Coachella, I think out in California had one. I don't understand why here in Texas, we have the facilities to try to have, for instance, this weekend would be a perfect weekend to do it. Have all the MLS, Texas teams and USL Texas teams kind of have, and even invite, some, some outside of the area. Have that little soccer weekend, between Austin, San Antonio, or however you want to do it to where number one, it invites fans, to be able to engage because pre-Austin FC, one of the biggest things that they had was the Austin Cup, I think is what it was called, preseason, where they had
Copita,
but it was a
Texas,
huge
like that.
success, along those lines.
La Copita.
So, but to me, you could have one of the matches could be the Copa Tejas winners, play, and this is something all of the Copa Tejas charities have talked or supporters have talked about, is having kind of like a community shield or a charity match between the Copa Tejas winner from USL and Copa Tejas winner from MLS, kind of come together to bridge that up. But maybe another year.
Yeah, it's an idea. I'm sure it's brewing. So I think it.
I don't think it is personally.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, we can keep pushing it. Come on, Steve.
I think the fans want it, but I don't think the clubs want it, just because. Let's be honest. Austin, San Antonio, probably not the friendliest.
Well, even Houston and Austin at this point, it's getting pretty bad.
Probably not the friendliest. I know San Antonio and Dallas have a good working relationship. I don't know about the relationship between Houston and San Antonio. Just with the RGV stuff through there here. So to me, that's something that I think the dynamics, and then obviously Houston, Dallas, have a long one, where between the two of them that front office wise, I don't know if they get along or not, but Sunshine might have a little bit more insight into that.
We get along with everybody.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, that's all I got. We got Sam that I guess we got to have some type of technical difficulties for Texas Ring of Fire. So Sam just vanished.
The big thing about Houston, just kind of going through it here, they did sign I think it was a left back, Dutch left back, and I'm going to chop his name up, Javincio van der Kroost from Urtek. It's a loan with an option to buy. I know that's a young player that they were looking to kind of help fill in. And then the other news that broke today is that the Dynamo finally launched an international player identification and recruitment department. So welcome to the 23rd, MLS 3.0 there.
Yeah.
So, just to give them credit where credit is due. But like I said, I think that's the biggest news. And I think preseason wise down in Houston, just in the chat, it was kind of a mixed bag where, they had a couple
6-1. Whew.
They had a couple of successes and then one where they didn't do very well. So
Kind of the same story sounds like over there, just brewing up for another.
Yeah.
Just here to participate.
Hopefully not like that this season. I know they expect a lot out of
no,
their
I
team
think
this season.
Houston's one of those teams that you asked me earlier who could take a big step up. I think Houston could. Now I don't think they're quite to Dallas and Austin level, but I don't think that they're bottom of the West. To me, I think they're kind of fighting for that playoff line here. Speaking of Austin FC,
they have
you're gonna go out and spend what was it, $160, $170 on.
Yeah,
on
I was
kit?
gonna close out with that. Yeah, that we do have that a kit reveal party going down Wednesday. It's from 7 to 11. So I'm excited to see what the kit's gonna look like. It's called Las Voces kit. So that's the voices. I guess it's the voices of Austin or something. So I'm excited. Me and the wife are going out. That's our Valentine's. That's our I guess my Valentine's, right? But yeah, dude, I'm excited to see what the kit looks like. There was a leak. It was kind of blurred out. It looked like there was a collar on it. Did you guys see the leak? The picture that we sent? Kind of looks like there's a collar on it. I kind of dig the collar personally, but there's rumors that there is no collar on it.
Nah.
So, hey, it is what it is. I'm excited to see it. Like you said, you could pre-order your kit for $169 already. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to cost what it costs. If you want it, you're going to get it. If you don't want
Before
it,
you can buy
wait.
it, RB, you got to get Mike. You got to get the podcast set up.
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trust me. I'm not getting it. I didn't pre-order.
Next thing I see here, RB's like, woohoo!
Yeah, no. I'll just bet a jersey against Sunshine again and get my jerseys that way.
I was gonna say I need that jersey, so let's get that going again.
Yeah, no, we'll just do that. Well, that's all I got, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, everybody who listens to us everywhere where you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube now. If you don't know, if you're listening to us, you can watch us on YouTube. We do go live. I would appreciate it if you could subscribe, leave a comment. If you're on Anchor or Spotify, whatever. Yeah, hit the like button. Rate and review us, and just let us know how we're doing. Obviously, I'm working on my audio, Harry. Don't worry, it's in the works. Trust me. We're gonna trying to hit that next level this season. Got a lot of big things coming. So, like I said, thank you guys. Harry, thank you. Sunshine, thank you. Sam, appreciate you trying. But Alex, y'all go follow Verde Bros. We got some more in-depth Austin FC 2 stuff that we're gonna cover there. Harry, he's gonna come on as special guest because he's a bigger fan than we are for Austin. But I'm your host, RB22.
Harry from San Antonio.
Hey, this is Sunshine. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
You guys stay better than my friends.
The Fin 210.